Can you believe it? There is a plant capable of doubling its biomass in just 48 hours without needing a single inch of soil. From an initial handful, after 2 days, you have 2 handfuls. After 4 days, 4 handfuls. By day 7, the biomass is enough to fill a bathtub, and after exactly 1 month, you will have an entire ton of food. But speed is not the most terrifying part. This plant contains up to 45% protein by dry weight, a figure that completely surpasses eggs, 12%, beef, 26%, and even chicken, 31%. This is a complete protein, providing all 9 essential amino acids in the golden ratio for the human body. Most remarkable of all, it shatters medical assumptions as one of the rare plants that contain vitamin B12, a micronutrient the world once believed could be found only in animals. It helps purify water by removing up to 99% of nitrogen. 1 square meter of water surface area, over 30 days of growth, provides enough protein to feed 1 person for an entire month. No soil, no fertilizer, no tractors, no irrigation, no pesticides, no labor beyond harvesting, just water and sunlight. NASA selected it as an optimal fresh food source for astronauts on missions to Mars because it satisfies 4 requirements: rapid growth in confined space, complete nutrition, wastewater recycling, and oxygen production. During their research, they discovered it can produce 140 times more protein per acre than soybeans. The organism we are talking about is Wolffia globosa, also known as duckweed. In the United States, it is called duckweed, or worse, pond scum. It has been listed as an aquatic nuisance species, or a noxious weed, that must be eradicated. Large-scale cultivation often requires permits, and transporting live duckweed across the borders of 37 states can be considered a legal violation, subject to heavy financial penalties. So why is a plant with such extreme efficiency and nutritional value treated as a toxic weed that must be destroyed? Stay with us until the end of this video to find out. Welcome to the Veiled Harvest. Let's dig deeper into the truth. In reality, Wolffia duckweed is not a new discovery. More than 2,000 years ago, Asian farmers were already operating an extremely intelligent food production machine. Even though they did not understand what protein synthesis was, they recognized its effectiveness. Duckweed covering rice paddies reduced the need for fertilizer. Fish beneath the water grew faster by feeding on it, and pigs and chickens on land thrived when fed fresh duckweed daily. Animal waste then became food for the duckweed, which purified the water again. It was a perfect closed-loop, self-sustaining system that required not a single cent for industrial fertilizer or feed. In 1590, a Western explorer arriving in Southeast Asia expressed astonishment at villages that could raise meat without pastures. He could not believe his eyes when abundant protein flowed from green waters rather than vast grazing fields. However, when industrial agriculture emerged, this system was dismantled. Ponds were filled in. Fields were forced into monoculture rice for export. Self-sustaining food systems were replaced by export-oriented commodity production. Within 2 generations, what once fed entire civilizations was downgraded into a weed. Yet in Thailand, people still respectfully call it kai nam, eggs of the water. They transform this premium green meat into rich soups and mix it into omelets to boost nutrition, a symbol of food freedom that no corporation can control. Modern science has clarified this reality. Over the past decade, laboratories from Germany and Israel to the United States have been repeatedly stunned by the superpowers hidden within this tiny plant. First, scientists at the University of Jena confirmed that Wolffia has an amino acid profile in the golden ratio, perfectly matching the FAO's strict standards. Unlike ordinary duckweed species that contain oxalic acid associated with kidney stones, it is so clean and safe that you can eat it raw on the spot. But the real turning point lies in vitamin B12. The world once believed B12 existed only in animals, yet Wolffia shattered that assumption. Clinical trials show that protein from this plant is absorbed by the human body at a rate of up to 93%, a record figure, equivalent to consuming premium beef, but in plant form. It doesn't stop there. The journal Diabetes Care published a startling finding. Simply consuming Wolffia can reduce post-meal blood sugar levels in diabetic patients by up to 20%. It also helps maintain iron levels comparable to red meat, while triggering satiety hormones faster than any other green vegetable on Earth. To test its resilience, the European Space Agency even subjected Wolffia to centrifuge conditions at 20 times Earth's gravity. The result? It survived and continued to grow perfectly. Why is it so unreasonably resilient? The secret lies in its genome. The Salk Institute discovered that Wolffia is an extreme evolutionary machine. It has deleted genes that control sleep cycles and completely eliminated its root system. It does not need rest. It photosynthesizes 24/7, transforming itself into a natural nanofilter that consumes nitrogen and phosphorus, converting them into pure protein at lightning speed. Yet this extraordinary water filtering ability has been used by chemical corporations as justification to label it toxic. They fear you might discover that when grown in clean water, it becomes the purest protein source on the planet without a single drop of pesticide, simply because its growth rate is faster than the reproduction rate of pests. Why is one of the most efficient protein sources on the planet called pond scum and treated like a weed in the United States? The answer does not lie in biology. It lies in economics. Modern American agriculture is built on two pillars: corn and soybeans. Every year, billions of dollars in subsidies are pumped into these two crops. Behind them stands an entire empire of seeds, fertilizers, and chemicals. Corporations like Monsanto profit by selling patented genetically modified seeds that farmers are not allowed to save for the next season. Every year, they must buy it all over again. If you don't buy, you cannot plant. This is not just agriculture. It is a system of dependency. And then Wolffia appears as the perfect disruptor. It needs no soil, no proprietary seeds, no chemical fertilizers, no pesticides, just water and light, and it doubles itself, sustains itself, and produces complete protein with an efficiency that even soybeans cannot match. A food production system that is nearly impossible to control and impossible to monetize. But the story goes beyond agriculture. In the United States, diabetes and the dietary supplement market represent industries worth billions of dollars each year. Meanwhile, studies suggest that Wolffia may support blood sugar control and provide naturally absorbable iron and protein. Imagine this. If a person could improve their health simply by eating a food that grows freely in water, who would continue buying expensive pills and supplements? This is not a story about a toxic plant. It is a story about an economic system not designed to support free things. Wolffia does not fit the profit model. You cannot patent it. You cannot control its supply, and you cannot force people to repurchase it every year. So the issue was never that it is dangerous. The issue is, if people truly understood it, they might no longer need the old system. In 37 U.S. states, it is labeled an aquatic nuisance species, a toxic food supposedly containing heavy metals. Herbicides are sprayed into lakes not to protect the environment, but to protect the industrial food market. They fear your nutritional independence. They fear a future where all you need is a bucket of water to produce enough protein for your family. Despite the stigma, a legal turning point has occurred. On December 8, 2021, the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, one of the strictest regulatory systems in the world, officially approved Wolffia as a novel food, meaning a new food safe for human consumption. What does that mean? It has passed some of the most rigorous tests for toxicity, heavy metals, and digestibility. In other words, what was once called pond scum is now recognized as a legitimate source of human nutrition. But here is the most interesting part. You don't need a farm. You don't need soil. You don't need machinery. You only need a container of clean water. Do not release Wolffia into natural environments in many places. This can result in fines due to invasive risk, and because outdoor water sources can easily become contaminated with bacteria or heavy metals. Instead, start simply. A small plastic container on a balcony, a source of clean water, and sunlight. Choose the Wolffia globosa strain, the most nutrient-dense variety, containing complete protein, natural B12, and very low oxalate levels. Under clean conditions, it becomes one of the purest protein sources you can produce yourself. And then the miracle begins. Every 48 hours, the layer of duckweed on the water thickens. You simply harvest half. The rest continues to double. Repeat the cycle, and you are operating a nearly endless protein production system right in your own home. You can eat it raw like a salad to best preserve its B12 content. Blend it into smoothies, mix it into eggs, or dry it into pure protein powder. Think about this for a moment. You're eating the same food NASA once studied for astronauts in deep space, but grown right on your balcony, at nearly zero cost. And if one day you harvest more than you need, poultry and fish will treat it as a high-protein feast. No waste, no excess, just a nearly perfect food loop. Wolffia is not just a plant, it is a symbol of freedom. The old system wants you to believe scarcity is destiny, so it can maintain control. But Wolffia globosa says abundance has always existed just beneath the water's surface. It is time to stop asking for permission to eat clean, eat well, and eat freely. The food revolution does not need an army, it only needs a handful of duckweed and your own awakening. Share this video so that useful information can spread. Subscribe to the channel to reclaim control over your own life. Scarcity is artificial. Wolffia is real.